Afternoon. Welcome to Raw Impact Yoga and Wellness. I'm Melissa from Red Dirt Yoga. I'm here to lead you through our 45-minute Hatha Flow today. I'm going to look at using a mantra throughout our practice today. I've been really focusing on manifesting the last couple of weeks, and I found that having a mantra to come back to throughout the day is really helping me to start to put those thoughts and beliefs, really concreting them into my mind, into my thought processes, etc. I think that it's really helpful to have these throughout every day, but just in our practice, to come back to whenever we come back to the breath. So coming back to the breath and back to that mantra can help create space in the mind around whatever might be going on for you in that given moment or that day, that week, whatever it might be. So if you want to, please feel free to pop on a bit of music. If you can't hear mine, find a candle, light it up, maybe a diffuser, whatever is pulling you today. I'm just going to fix up that camera a little bit. Please excuse the washing on the table there. It's quite chaotic back here behind that camera, so I just like to leave it all behind the camera. If you have any areas of tightness or any restrictions, please listen to your body, where you need to be today, where your body is telling you that enough is enough, or whether you might just need a little bit more intensity. We're going to start in our Supta Baddha Konasana today. So coming down onto your backs, flat onto the mat, soles of the feet come together, knees falling out nice and wide. The feet can be closer to the bottom. If that feels okay for you, it will make it a lot more intense if they are closer. If they are further away from the bottom, it will lessen the intensity and the sensation in the hips. So whichever you need for your practice today, just finding that position. Close down those eyes if that feels okay. One hand comes to the heart, one hand to the belly. As you lay here on your mat, just again softly closing down those eyes if it feels okay. Becoming aware of that nice, deep, steady inhale and exhale out through the nose. Creating a nice, steady flow of that breath in and out through the nose. Noticing the belly rising and falling with each inhale and exhale. Maybe creating or thinking about what mantra you might like to carry throughout your practice today. Maybe it's I believe in myself. Maybe I am kind. I am grateful. I am doing my best. I am talented and intelligent. Maybe it's something that you choose. You choose to be kind, choose to be happy, to be confident. Maybe it's I choose to love myself. Whatever it may be, as you inhale and exhale, bringing that mantra into your practice. I choose to love myself. I choose to be happy. I am kind. I am grateful. I believe in myself. Anytime the mind wanders away from your breath during this practice, trying to bring the awareness back to your mantra, back to the breath. Inhale, I am. Exhale, kind. Inhale, I choose. Exhale, to be happy. Inhale, I believe. Exhale, in myself. Just settling in here with your breath and your mantra. Sinking a little deeper into that mat with each exhale. Repeating that mantra over and over again. Manifest into your mind your thoughts. So in turn, you start believing. Let those legs fall a little heavier. Keep the inhale and exhale nice and steady through the nose. Slowly bringing those knees together. Maybe using those hands to help lift them back to center. Plant the feet on the floor. Hip distance apart. Lengthening the right leg up to the sky. Flexing the toes back to the face. Folding that leg over the top of the other. Letting it fall across as far as it will go. Arms come wide. Gently letting those legs fall to the left-hand side. Keeping that gaze neutral or maybe gazing over the right fingertips. Just letting those legs fall heavy. The mind just wandered, bring it back to the breath. Back to that repetition. Inhale the legs back up to center. Lifting that foot off the other, planting it down to the floor, coming into the opposite side, lifting the left leg high to the sky. Toes flexing back to all over the top of the right. Gently letting them fall to the right hand side, maybe keeping the gaze neutral or like gazing out over the left fingers. When you're ready, slowly bringing them back to center. Unravel the legs, planting both feet down to the floor. Pulling both knees into the chest. Interlacing the hands. Having a rock from side to side if that feels okay for you. And when you're ready, we're going to slowly rock and roll up to a cross-legged seated position. So crossing the legs over at the ankles, finding stillness, rocking and rolling, giving that back a nice massage, all the way up to a seated position. If that doesn't serve you today, please feel free to come up however you get there. Adjust the clothing if you need to. Make yourself nice and comfortable. Inhale the hands overhead. Exhale through to heart center. Close down those eyes, bow the head just ever so slightly. Thanking yourself for coming onto the mat today. And really connecting to that mantra, whatever it may be that you've chosen. When you're ready, open up the eyes, drop the hands, circle them overhead one last time. Hands come out in front, making sure that both sit bones are grounding down into the floor. Slowly walking those hands out in front, lengthening through the spine, finding that point where maybe one sit bone wants to lift up off the floor or both want to lift off the floor. Finding that this might be enough for you. And then slowly folding over the top of those legs. If the thoughts have wandered, coming back to the breath, back to that mantra. Or finding stillness of the mind if that better serves you today. When you're ready, slowly creeping those hands back in towards the legs, sitting up nice and tall, crossing the legs the opposite way, so the other leg is in front, sitting up nice and tall, lifting through the crown of the head. And when you're ready, slowly folding forward at the hips, walking those hands out as far as you can, finding that point of no more, and then folding the upper body over the top. Letting that head and neck relax down as best you can. Slowly sitting back up again. Lifting through the crown of the head, sitting up nice and tall. Feet Soles of the feet connect out in front, coming into our bound angle. Knees fall out to the side, bringing those feet in as close as you wish. Interlacing the fingers together around the toes, sitting up nice and tall. Leaning forward, tilting at the hips. Maybe slowly pushing the elbows into the creases of the legs. Try not to round here. Trying to keep the shoulder blades down the back, away from the ears. Tilting the chest forward. Using each breath here to help relax those legs down a little further and open up through the hips. Inhaling back up to center. Legs come out wide in front, just giving them a little pedal, maybe a little shake. Kicking the feet to the side, coming over into our tabletop position. Knees as wide as the hips. Just running through 2 cat-cows here on your own. Inhaling, drop the belly for cow. Exhale, pull the belly in, round the shoulders for cat. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. Finding a neutral spine. Hands come a handprint out in front as wide as your shoulders, or a little wider if that's better for you. Tucking those toes under, lifting those hips high for our first downward facing dog. Pedaling out those feet. Reaching the heels towards the mat. Lifting the tailbone high to the sky. Maybe pausing on the right side, pausing on the left side. Finding stillness in our downward facing dog. Knees can be as bent as you need to, chest pulling back towards the feet. The mind is wandering, pulling it back to the breath, back to that mantra, that repetition over and over again. When you're ready, lifting the right leg high to the sky, pulling that knee all the way into the nose for a tiger curl. Lifting back up into our 3-legged dog. Stepping that right foot between the hands. Drop the back knee down to the floor, untuck the toe. Coming into our low crescent lunge. Hands come overhead. Drawing those shoulder blades down the back, but lifting and lengthening through the spine. Making sure that front knee is stacked over the ankle. When you're ready, hands plant to the floor. Tuck the back toes under. Lifting the knee, coming into our high crescent lunge. Trying to keep that breath nice and steady. If this is too much here, please stay in your low crescent. When you're ready, shifting the back foot in a little onto a 45-degree angle for our warrior one. Staying here for a moment. Really strengthening through those legs, pressing down into the feet. When you're ready, hands come to heart center, straightening out as best you can through the front leg. Tilting from the hips forward, folding over that front leg. Hands come to the floor if that's accessible, or to the shin. Staying here for a moment to let the back of that leg open up a little. And when you're ready, inhale, lengthening through the spine, through the crown of the head. Exhale, forward folding over that leg. Bend through the elbows. Bend through that front knee if you need to. That breath gets a little choppy. Just creating deeper inhales, long, slow exhales. Coming back to the mantra and the breath. When you're ready, inhale, lengthening through that spine. Slowly coming back up. Hands come to the hips. Both feet turn to face the long length of your mat. Legs are nice and wide. Hands come to the hips. Slowly forward folding over those legs. Hands come down to the mat. Knees can be bent if you need to. Just hang here in our wide-legged forward fold. Maybe open those feet a little wider if that feels okay. Let the neck, the head hang heavy. Repeating that mantra. Starting to believe whatever it is that you are manifesting or saying to yourself, that is exactly how it is. Letting go of any negativity. Creating a mind full of positive thoughts. Creating space around the negative. Letting them ebb and flow, come and go. Trying not to give them any energy at all. When you're ready, inhaling for a halfway lift. Hands come to the floor, flat backs. Exhale down to the floor one more time. Inhale back up again, slowly bending through the left leg. No, it'll be your right leg, sorry. Coming back into our runner's lunge. Stepping both feet up to the top of our mat between the hands. Forward folding over those legs. Grabbing opposite elbows for our ragdoll if that feels okay. When you're ready, dropping the hands. Slowly coming up to our mountain, one vertebrae at a time. Shoulder roll at the top. Hands come overhead. Joining together at the top. Hands through heart center. Slowly forward folding. Back down to the mat. Inhale here for a halfway lift. Exhale, bending through those knees, stepping back to our downward facing dog. Coming into the opposite side. Finding our child's pose here if you need to. Otherwise, just finding still downward dog. Exhale, putting this for our tiger curl. Inhale it back up again, all the way to the sky. Exhale, stepping it forward between the hands. Drop the back knee down to the floor, untuck the toe, coming up to our low crescent lunge. Lengthen through the spine, reaching through the tips of the fingers. When you're ready, tucking the toes under, lifting the back knee up if that feels okay for you. Keep strong through the legs, grounding into the feet, the balls of the back foot. When you're ready, just stepping that back foot in a little bit, coming into our warrior one. The front knee is stacked over that ankle. Hips are facing the front of your mat as best you can. Shoulders are square, hands are reaching overhead. Stay nice and low in that position. Hands come to the heart center. Straightening through the front leg. Forward folding from the hips over the leg. Hands come to the shin or to the floor, wherever feels comfortable for you. Maybe that front leg is bent as much as you need it to be. Whatever feels good for you today. Staying here for one more inhale, lifting a little higher, lengthening. Exhale, forward folding over that leg if it's accessible. Maybe the breath has got a little choppy and started to wander. Just bringing it back, the awareness back to the breath, to that mantra. Maybe creating space. Inhaling for a halfway lift, bending slightly through that front knee, lifting the upper body back up into, so it's lifted. Flipping those feet sideways to the long length of your mat for a wide-legged forward fold. Hands come to the hips, to heart center, wherever you're comfortable. Tilting forwards from the hips, all the way down to the floor. Maybe walking those feet out a little wider if that feels okay. Folding down, hands to the floor, maybe forearms to the floor. Maybe hands come to the ankles. Bending through the elbows. Whatever feels good for you right in this moment. Staying for 2 more breaths here. Keeping them nice and steady. Bringing the hands back to the floor if they weren't already. Inhaling for a halfway lift. Exhaling down to the floor one last time. And when you're ready, slowly pivoting to the front of your mat, bending through that front knee. Hands plant to the floor, stepping back to our downward facing dog. At times it's hard to find the breath and find stillness in some of our poses throughout our practice. Much the same as it is to find it throughout our daily lives. Practicing finding the breath, bringing the awareness back. Maybe manifesting mantras or beliefs or whatever it is. Sometimes finding that throughout our practice as well as in our daily lives can make us and help us to become more aware of our emotions, our feelings. Inhaling to the balls of the feet, stepping them to either side of the hands, coming into our Malasana squat. So the feet are nice and wide. Maybe the hands are on the thighs, if that's enough for you. Maybe you can sink that bottom down even further. Maybe the hands can come to the heart center. Maybe the elbows can push into the knee creases, really sinking that bottom down into a nice deep squat. Letting that tension go out of the hips. Opening them up. Adding a sway from side to side if that feels okay. Can be very intense, so please listen to your body. When you're ready, coming down to the floor, however you get there. Laying all the way down onto your backs. Hands come just underneath where the bottom and the tailbone meets. Tucking those shoulders down the back, shoulder blades down the back. Just going to lift into our bridge pose. So keeping those feet as wide as the shoulders, knees are bent. Grounding down into the feet, slowly lifting the butt cheeks off the floor. Squeeze them together, squeeze through the legs. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly dropping the bottom back down. Take a rest here for a moment. Stay for the next inhale. And the exhale. And inhale, squeeze that bottom up, ground down through the feet, lifting the hips high to the sky. Tucking that chin in slightly. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop that bottom down to the floor. Pull both knees into the chest. Have a little rock from side to side if that feels okay. Coming into our happy baby. Knees come to the outsides of the side body. Feet come to a 90-degree angle, so the ankles are stacking over those knees as best you can. Coming in to grab either around the ankles, around the shins, around the back of the calf, wherever you can reach, or grabbing hold of the outside of those feet. Pulling those knees down towards the ground. At the same time, pulling the tailbone down towards the mat. Maybe you need stillness here. Maybe a little rock from side to side is more your thing. As we slow down into our last final poses for our practice, bringing that awareness back to your mantra and breath. I believe, I am, I choose. Whatever you are feeling today, finding stillness when you're ready, dropping the feet down to the floor, stretching the legs out as long as your mat, hands fall wherever feels comfortable, feet falling out to the sides, relaxing down into your Shavasana, letting that breath come back to its steady, natural rhythm, creating space in the mind. During your Shavasana, you might like to keep practicing that mantra with the inhale and exhale of the breath. Or maybe you just need to find stillness in mind and body today. There's so much going on in our world at the moment that it's just nice to give ourselves some self-care, some love, some kindness, some stillness. Let the whole of your body fall deeper and deeper into that mat. Giving yourself the next few minutes just for yourself. If you have a little bit more time, please feel free to stay right where you are. Otherwise, bring some awareness back into the body. Make that next inhale longer and deeper than the last. Give the fingers and toes a little wriggle. And rolling onto your side. And when you're ready, coming up into a comfortable seated position. Hands come to heart center. Closing down those eyes. Maybe repeating whatever it is a couple more times. I am. I choose. I believe. Taking one last deep inhale here. And as you exhale, bowing forward, Namaste. Thank you for joining me today, and you will see the beautiful Kate on Monday. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day, week, whenever it might be that you're doing this practice, and I will see you again next time. Namaste.